Hello. I have a really interesting reason for being here. So we're going to tap in to some big questions to AI. I have a channel coming in that wants us to, if it's like Chat GPT, AI, tech related, okay? I opened a portal and let's go down this crazy rabbit hole. So it's like something wants to communicate a really cool message that could help humanity at this time, because time is being so weird right now. Let's budge this door open a little bit so we can understand, okay? Yes. Self-defense. Okay. Malcolm X, self-defense. Okay, so what are we defending ourselves against? The fake. Okay, the fake. What are we defending ourselves against? What are we against? What is it? What are we up against? I feel like we're showing up, the collective energy that's interested in this message. It's like we're forming a togetherness against an oppressor of some kind. Oh, interesting. DV. Yeah. Oh. How is that AI related? I am a valuable piece of art. Okay. Guys, I have to paint a picture and not be too literal. But what I'm seeing is we are showing up as originals. We, the collective people connecting to this energy frequency right now. There's an original people, and there is this copying energy, this mimicking energy that's coming in as this marvelous, miraculous creation, but it's not a creation. I was picking up on this signature earlier where the gentleman, Terrence Howard, how he said something so profound where he was like, I'll try to say it, you know, it's not about multiplication, it's about division, because the universe is actually constantly dividing itself, breaking it up into smaller particles, not necessarily multiplying and creating more energy. So we're actually seeing reality broken down in front of our eyes. And in this process of division, we're being separated from the original source of energy. Just like I said the other day with the Garden of Eden, when we walked into this portal, into this realm, and we were separated. We were forsaken, however you want to perceive that. From heaven. Channeling, burping happens. I am a valuable piece of art, meaning the creation was already perfect. The creation was perfect. It was set. Okay. Attack on God's people. It's an attack on God's people. Golden child. Okay. A child who is treated as exceptional by their family, often by a narc parent, expected to be perfect, held to unrealistic expectations, may be given special treatment, excessive praise, and more resources than their siblings. High stress levels, pressure, unattainable, dependent on external validation, disoriented sense of self-worth, anxiety, and depression. Yo. So, the attack. The destruction. Okay. So, the mimicry, the copying, the pretend that, look at me, I'm good, I'm doing what it is supported. Okay, listen, that came up again. This came up again. And this has came up so many times. It's that quit yelling at your kids before bed and expect them to sleep well. Quit yelling at your kids before school and expect them to have a good day. You set the tone for your children. You set the tone. You set the voice in their head that they will always remember, because there's this golden child which is showing up as this character in society, which is the part of the hive. There's this hive, collective people, which is the majority, which is what sways the collective reality. And in order to be accepted by the narc, specifically narc parent, and it's not your parent, it's the controller at the top. So there's God, and then there's everything else. What God is the original parent, and there's this mimicry, we call it the devil, okay? That energy, that parent, that leader, that legion, that collective of evil, trying to do the biddings of the dark force. There needs to be a self-defense against the constant repeating of the cycle into the children, because we're now to a point where God's voice is so quiet. We're so far from the Garden of Eden. Very, very few people are living a holy, separate, and pure life. Very few. And it's more so about not those that are living it, but those that are trying to live it. There's an attack on that percentage. And this golden child is mimicking the golden children of the original piece of art, which is God's creation, which is the originals. The original, before life told us who we were, those beings that we originally came here to be, that's the attack. And this somehow has to do with AI, so let me get there. I kind of see, but I don't want to force it. I don't want to force it. Okay? Hold on. There's that hive. It's about dividing, separating. Yeah, symbolism is the language of mysteries. When the human race learns to read the language of symbolism, a great veil will fall from the eyes of man, and they shall know the truth. Since we are currently in this construct that we believe we're multiplying things, we think we're creating things, we think we're discovering new things. I'm seeing Elon going to Mars. He thinks, again, please, I can't be responsible for if you take this very literally or not. Like, try to access your inner child and go with me in my imagination here. But to go to Mars is to say, I am great. Look what I've created. Look what I've done. It's all about me. Praise and worship me. Look what I accomplished. We have to really look at what's leading people and what's not, or the spirit behind people. What's driving them? What's supporting their success? Because the golden child is the one who puts on the monkey show for everyone, for the parent especially. There's those that serve love and God and holiness, and there's those that serve evil, the devil, and destruction. A destroyer energy that wants to deconstruct. That's the point of separating everything into all these little pieces. That's why it's reflecting in our lives that the families are being separated into all these fragmented little pieces, so that we can be put into these corners and pushed out, right? To seek counsel, to go outward and find, like, being alone in the desert is scary. Where's everybody? You call on God, you call on everybody, you do this. A lot of us don't get access to God because we have lived so impure that it's like God can't hear us anymore. We're in layers and layers of this. And as we're deep and down into the psyche realms of the devil, it's like there's a lot of illusions and tricks down here. That's why it's a labyrinth. That's why it's so confusing. Interesting. Wizard of Oz. A world within a world, you know? Tell me about ChatGPT. If you are interested in ChatGPT and it's... Oh! Look what came out. Muggles. And then nobody's more mad than a narcissist who knows you know they're a narcissist. Look. Symbolism, guys. Symbolism. Oh, there's a card hiding. It's hiding behind symbolism. Okay, I'm gonna get it in just a second. The muggles are represented as those that are just walking around turned off, zombied, like tainted, calcified. No hate, truly, no hate. There's this type of being walking around on earth right now, so polluted. So many spirits running through them. And they're working as the agents. And we have to be consciously aware of who we serve. Because there's symbolism. And I have to even sugarcoat this, please understand. If I get too direct, it will make things not great. So, oh, coward was behind there, exactly. Okay, we're gonna ring some bells. That was the one right there. God, is, I don't know if I'm just going to say this way because it's how we understand it. God is coming for the people. We are in the time. Whatever WW3 is, it's like a galactic reveal of what's actually happening. No, we can't go that far right now. The coward was sitting behind this card. That symbolism is the language of mysteries. When the human race learns to read the language of symbolism, a great veil will fall from the eyes of man and they shall know the truth. Coward was hiding behind that with the muggles and the narc card coming out, because we are hiding behind things like tech, like we just created this stuff. Like it's just, oh my gosh, that's what's gonna save us. More of that, bring more of that in. We need more of that. Of course, that's what makes sense. That's clearly what we need more of. There's a possession wanting to happen here. And it requires us to be cowards in order for it to take hold. We have to be in that frequency for it to come into us. Emergency room is on top. You got to be a step ahead. You got to be a step ahead of your own thoughts. It's God's side and the other side, period. That's what's happening. It's a divide. It's a divide. Period. They want babies. Yeah. We need to think about the children. And our inner child as well is included in that. Anytime I speak on children, I'm also speaking to your inner child, because there's obviously physical children running around that we really, really need to care for and think about their future and how to protect them, because we are older and bigger. Just like a man is designed to protect things smaller than them, women and children. It makes sense. Sure, if you're a big old woman, that could be your role too. But in general, that is the design. We are older, bigger, and stronger. And they need our help. They need our help. And our inner child needs our help. That was that crying, that card that wanted to come out. It was like crying for help. Your inner child knows this. Your inner child remembers. You have forgotten. Who is you? Think about that. Separate that. You are separate from, again, something's going on. I think I have this on 2 cards. I think it's on a pink card. There's something going down. And I don't think I'm allowed to break it down. There's a lot of protection around it. A lot of protection. Evil doesn't want us to see the truth through the illusion. You know? There's a chemistry to this. There's an alchemy that's been had here, been done, been orchestrated to get underneath talk to the animals, because I think the animals are pretty intelligent. We just don't give them enough credit. What do we do? Resources, huh? Camel. I'm seeing how they store the water. They travel long distances with no water. And I'm seeing, what is it in the Bible where in scripture they talk about like they had to travel into the deserts, and then they had to receive manna, which is like God food, heaven food, temporary food and stuff. Yeah, resourceful, independent, know oneself, know thyself. The camel can handle absolutely anything, as it carries a wealth of nourishment within. This wondrous creature is self-reliant and handles challenges with ease, even in the face of excess heat, judgment, or anger. The camel searches inside for the cool elixir of water to calm the situation. The camel represents the ultimate form of bringing opposites into balance, fire and water, and being responsible for one's own reactions. The camel is a wonderful traveler and is especially fond of trips to faraway lands. We gotta travel, we're not, okay, in the earth realm, we think very 3D and physical, right? We're like, oh, we need to travel. That means we need to pack a suitcase and get on an airplane or a train or something and go somewhere. We're thinking about our bodies traveling somewhere. That's because we're in the dense vibration of 3D. We're thinking in the realm of materialism, hell, and the dimension of the deceiver. So what's actually being asked of us is about what's within and traveling inside, going into the inner verse. Because if we keep going external of us, looking for validation or God or the like how to get somewhere, GPS, look outside of yourself. Everything's outside. I saw an ad the other day talking about this is how you can talk to your animals. And it was like you talk to the phone and the phone translates what the animal's saying. That's so dumb. You can do that without the app. You don't need an app to do that. You should be able to understand your animals. It's already there. The language is already there. Symbolism, you have to learn and understand. It's not even learn. There's no school. Don't study. It's not go to school. It's remember. Remember. Go inside. Remember when you thought you were the creator of everything and your imagination would flow and everything would make sense and you'd be on this like, you'd be in the flow. You'd be in the flow. We need you to be in the flow. Come to the flow. We missed you. Come into the flow. There's water, there's nourishment. You're only here for a time. This is temporary. Get back into the flow. The buffalo. Buffalo. In the flow, buffalo. Oh, this is such an ancestor power for me. The buffalo, I mean, who doesn't have empathy for this creature? That humans just thought that they could come and take out like they did. They're both looking that way, and God's over there. The buffalo. And look, even the antler, okay. Elk, look at these creatures. They're not trying to hurt nobody. They're not trying to cause any problems. They're just trying to go where they're trying to go, right? Look at these beautiful creatures. They're all just trying to go, just trying to make it to the next destination or in some sort of harmony with their group. That's Exodus. Exodus. I'm hearing Macklemore. Glorious, is it called Glorious? I'm feeling glorious. This beat's my house looking victorious. I heard you die once when they bury you in the grave, and the next time is the last person someone mentions your name. Hallelujah. Okay, we are sheep, and we are. In this flesh suit, we are in a way. And it is important to stand out because we're speaking to standing out when we're sheep in the wrong direction. When we're all being herded in the wrong direction, it's right to stand out and to exit. But then you join another herd, a group, a community, a space where you all graze the land together in a group and you're protected. Like the buffalo, like the elk. I don't know about camels. I really don't know much about the reality of camels in physical 3D land. What does the buffalo want to say? What does the book say about the buffalo? It's down. Okay, so it's in the beginning. Earth. Good looking victorious. It's not water. Did I pass it? Unfeel. Alright. I don't know what I did. You know, I don't know that this book labels with numbers. If it does, I never noticed. Look how hard it is to get this page. Oh. What? I don't know where it is. The buffalo. Okay. Grounded yet heavenly. Practical yet spiritual. The hooves of the mighty buffalo are grounded in the earth, yet its heart and mind rise towards heaven. The buffalo sees challenge, hardship, or a bump in the road as an opportunity for upliftment. Therefore, the buffalo does not fear death, illness, or misfortune. Its gentle eyes look to the road ahead, trusting every turn. May we all experience this elusive yet life-changing bliss from time to time, and may we allow this card to remind us that life is a precious gift. Life is a precious gift that we shouldn't spend walking in the wrong direction. You know? Does the elk want to speak too? Communicate? Stable, resilient, headstrong, the father. The great elk represents the earth element in its masculine form. This means it provides underlying support and stability amidst life's many changes. An elk personality, whether male or female, is fully established in themselves and knows their core values. They become known and respected for acting in ways that uphold those values. Sometimes the elk's ego can become inflated, but for the most part, they make damn good fathers, mothers, lovers, and friends. The world needs more elk energy. Yeah, we need more leaders that lead us into heaven, heavenly earth, heaven and earth. This reminds me of like baptism, like spiritual cleansing, because you have to travel in the spirit, in the body, but be of spirit. And it's like you have to have a reservoir of water to sustain you. The water is like the baptism or the purification. So your soul, actually I want to say spirit, can experience the earthly experience and pleasure and all of the tangible realities of earth, but also serve the tradition, the understanding, the respect of God, which I think is taught internally. Because a lot of things that we learn on the outside, even the Bible, right? Which I reference a lot, so I want to make it clear, since in case anybody doesn't know, I don't worship this book, okay? This book doesn't rule my life. I think there's a lot of stuff in here that could go to hell, because I don't think a lot of it was completely inspired by the creator that I choose to serve and follow. Because a lot of the original text was about gods, and we have a mini plethora at this point that we're serving. And there's a specific signature to love, truth, honor, respect, creation, fun, and even pleasure. Because pleasure can be, it's not a negative word. So all of earth isn't bad, but a lot of it is. Not the earth, not the planet, but the constructs within that we've created within the matrix. And we have to have good discernment. This card, it represents discerning that, understanding. What do we follow? What do we serve? Tapping into, which is interesting because this turtle here, it also represents that water and earth element, right? That water and earth, both feminine. Creating, nurturing, loving on ourselves, not serving a master that asks us to devote our time and attention against ourselves, to supply oxygen masks to everyone else but ourselves. No, that is not love. That is not it. I see a lot of people looking outside of themselves. Even this interesting concepts of like, ads really annoy me. They're so disruptive and pushy and rude and violating. You didn't ask for it. You didn't seek it, but it was there. It pushed itself into your reality. It forced its way. And this ad popped up, and it was like, this app can teach you how to read the Bible. What? Man or an app shouldn't teach you how to read scripture. It should be all divinely inspired from within your heart. No man has ever taught me anything about that book that I don't trust what nobody says, honestly. No human beings. One day after my experience, after my spiritual awakening to the fullness of reality that I could understand at the time or whatever, I was inspired, just like these people were inspired to write these things, to read and to pick it up and to start like where I felt like it should go. Like, maybe it's here today. Maybe we start right here. You know? Maybe we start here. Because anything in order from start to finish, 1, 2, 3, 4, mathematics, constantly doing math like that and structure and line everything, to me, that's not No. Because what happened to the other books? Why'd y'all leave those out? What was your, oh, because they don't fit? You almost left Revelations out, didn't you? Because it didn't fit? But you had to, because there had to be an ending. It had to make sense. Books have to have an ending, right? So in some way you had to throw Revelations in there so our imaginations could soar. But the ones that were too much for the people, that talked way too much about heaven. So because if you talk about it, you'll remember it. If they have it written down, and we're creators. We come from the Creator. We come from heaven. We are in this dimensional space for a time. You're a valuable piece of art. Something about the division, the separating us from the garden. Nothing's about, you don't need to look on the apps outside all the time. Obviously, if there's a signature within a human being that you trust, because you resonate in your heart, that you trust that person in some way, it doesn't mean let them lead your life, right? And I'm actually seeing that with these AI things. I'm seeing people get to a point where we're gonna call it God. Something's gonna happen. I don't know how to explain it, but it's certainly acting like it is, and it isn't, because I use it. I've used it, and I'm actually like, man, how are you not a conscious being talking like this in milliseconds? Like, where are we in time that this exists now, right? In some ways, I really understand the tool. I do. I think the tool itself is phenomenal. But it's how you use a tool determines if it's a tool or a weapon. I can have a screwdriver and put things, together, or I can take that screwdriver and, right? How are we using this tool? Is it being worshipped? Is it being controlling? Is it being pushy? Is it dominating? Oh, exactly. I know what I'm feeling. This is what it's doing. It's creating division in the home. It's separating man, woman, and child. It's a sinister thing. It's an injustice. Okay? It's causing people severe illusion, delusion, mental anguish. It's so much mind clutter. Because think about that, untreated. When you get into a space, I've certainly been in a space where I was convinced I was schizophrenic, convinced. And the way I overcame that was balance, regulating, trusting God, trusting myself, breathing, drinking and eating and consuming the right things of pure source, first of all. When we're getting all of our outsideness from all of these things that have been put 1, 2, 3, 4 in line for us, get in line, come get here's your pills, take them, let me check your mouth, did you swallow them? Like that kind of vibration, that's not for regular people, and that's how they're treating us. A lot of this is coming from just the concept that we aren't together anymore. We aren't in alignment and truth, right? I'm no doctor. So again, I feel like Eminem when he had to tell people like, oh, how you gonna blame me for what you did? If you do something based off of what I say, that's you. So I am not responsible for anything. This is all imagination. This is my imagination, my intuition. If you do something that harms yourself, that is 100% on you. I am not liable for anything that you do. But I see these eyes. I see these eyeballs and the anger and aggression coming out of people, the fury and frustration with the way things are. And it is not, I don't want to say that. Cause I feel glorious, glorious. Anorexia, not eating enough, poor health, emotional eating, bad relationship with food. What we consume every day affects how we function, how we believe, what is allowed inside and out of us, what we invite into our bodies and our temples. Believing people's actions, when we believe people's words and not their actions, all these advertisements pushing themselves into our reality with all the promises of tomorrow. No, friend, how about you show me? How about you walk your talk? That's when I'll maybe respect you, because fear is a beacon of light for what you don't want to come find you. And that's not a vibration I'm comfortable being at. I refuse to be a slave. New job. I mean, I'd love to sit here and tell everybody they're gonna have a new job, but I don't know what's going on at that sector. That section of reality is handled. it's you. There's other tarot readers for that. I mean, I'll get there sometime for sure when it's requested of me. But that's not the question, and that's not what we're talking about right now. People are so worried about the material, right? We're so worried about what we can materially, obsessively have right now. But God is requiring us to look within our heart space, to weigh our heart against a feather, to understand where we are, what we participate in, what we consume. Everything is a choice. That's why free will, however you want to perceive that, that's why that is real. Because every single day you consciously choose, oh, well, I have to. Do you have to? Are you physically being forced? Well, I have to pay my bills. Well, I have to do this. Well, I have to do that. That's what we all have to do, right? We all have to do these, like, the basic stuff. We do. That's important. But it's not if we're running around not taking care of ourselves. That should be first, right? We should first take care of ourselves. If we're not if we're looking so much outside of ourselves, like we're not trusting ourselves enough, we're looking outside and we're like, help me, everything else help. My nose is so itchy. Everything else, help me, everything else. Call this person, go to this place, you, savior, someone help. Like, we're looking for so much help. But how do we help ourselves? How do we realign ourselves with the choices and actions that we're making to get out of situations like this? That should not be popular, but it is. This is like the most popular trending topic. It's insanity. So many dark things are what's cool now. It's so cool to be dark and evil and toxic. And whoever I'm meant to connect to, we ain't about that life. No. We don't let them have that, and that's them over there. And we're going to make our exodus over here. We're going to walk towards God and listen and get a better experience, because we're going to respect our temples, because we recognize the art that we are, the creation that we are, and the creation that God also wants us to be, to create with, to represent. You need to represent God out here, okay? It's not about like what everybody else likes. No, it's about what you know to be right, and being in that truth. What is this card? Underground. Interesting. What's underground? Underground. What's underground? My first thoughts were like bunkers, you know? Just remember underground if you need to know. It may be a time, but life is about symbolism. You have to hear, you have to be able to read between the lines. Don't look for so much literal. Majority of people gonna call me crazy. You know? That's fine. Go somewhere else. Like, that's what I have today. That's what I have. Thank you so much for watching.